Hello and welcome to the Music Theory Guy Clinic with me, Music Theory Guy. If you've got a question about music theory, this is the place to get it answered. If you'd like to get in touch, you can send me an email or you can contact me via Facebook or Twitter. Now that's precisely what Gilberto from Los Angeles has done. He's written to me and he wants to know about repeats. In this video, the fourth in a series of 6 videos about repeats, I'm looking at DC and DS al Coda. Let's have a look. Okay, to kick off, let's have a look at the difference between DC al Coda and DS al Coda. Let's look at DC al Coda first. The DC stands for da capo, which means from the start, and Coda means tail. So the full definition, or full translation if you like, of DC al Coda is go back to the beginning and play to the coda sign, which looks like that sort of cross with a circle through it, and then play the coda. I'll put those instructions just over here. So DS al Coda is slightly different. DS stands for del segno or dal segno, which means from the sign. The coda, as we already know, means tail. So the full definition of DS al Coda is go back to the sign, which looks like that funny little S-shaped symbol, and play to the coda sign, then play the coda. And again, I'll put those little instructions over on the right-hand side of the screen. Now don't worry if that's all gobbledygook to you, let's have a look at a couple of examples. Let's focus on DC al Coda first. Now here are some empty bars. I've not bothered to put any notes in, it's just much easier if I explain how it works with just some series of bars or measures. Just a couple of things to notice before we get going with this example. Firstly, the coda, it's right at the very end and it's always separated from the main set of bars or measures. Here we've got the instruction DC al Coda, and here we've got that funny little sign that means go to the coda. So let's have a look at exactly how this works in practice. Now we obviously start playing right from the very beginning where I've highlighted green, and all we do, we play each bar or each measure one after the other, and we keep playing them all the way through as I've highlighted here, and we eventually get to the instruction DC al Coda. Now it's at that point we have to bear in mind the instructions we put together just a few moments ago. So the first line of our instruction says go back to the beginning. So we go right the way back to the beginning and we play that first bar or measure. And the second instruction is play to the coda sign. So we keep playing each bar all the way through, one after the other, or each measure if you prefer, and we keep playing them until we get to that coda sign. Now, once we reach that coda sign, as per the third instruction, it says play the coda. So we jump directly to the first bar or measure of the coda and we play that bar or measure, and then we keep going until we get to the end of the coda. And that's it. All you've got to remember when you see a DC al Coda is to make sure you jump back to the beginning, and then you just keep going until you get to that coda sign, and then you jump directly to the coda. Let's have a look though at DS al Coda. Just before we get going, just make sure you know where all the symbols and signs are. So here at the top, we've got the sign. On the next line down, we've got the coda sign. At the very bottom at the end, and again there's that gap between the main section of music, we've got the coda. And at the end of the main section of music, we've got that instruction DS al Coda. So as before, we start playing from the very beginning and we just keep playing all the way through and we keep playing all the bars and measures until we hit that instruction DS al Coda. Okay, so our first instruction says go back to the sign. Now that, you might remember, is located right at the very top. In fact, it's bar or measure 5 and we start playing from there. Instruction number 2 says play to the coda sign. So we keep playing and we keep playing until we get to the coda sign. At which point our third instruction says play the coda. So we jump and we go straight to that coda and we play all the way through to the end of the music. And that's it. That's pretty much all you need to know about DC and DS al Coda. Just remember that if you come across DC or DS al Coda, it means go back to somewhere. That's either the start or go back to the sign, but then you keep playing until you get to the coda sign, at which point you jump directly to the coda. Now, I used to get confused between DC and DS. With DS, the way I remember it is that the sign looks like a little s. So if you come across DS Coda, you know you're looking for the sign. Okay, well I hope that's been useful to you, Gilberto, and anybody else that's been watching. If any of you have any further questions about music theory, please do get in touch. I look forward to receiving your emails and messages via Twitter and Facebook. In the meantime, many thanks for watching.